I know.
Hello, everybody,
You'll see.
and welcome back.
Somehow the world
We're back
will
with
change
Spider-Man
me.
episode 11.
Gotta change the suit now.
You right. Let me just do that while I'm falling. Alrighty. There we go. Perfect.
Long falling.
I get it.
I'll kill myself.
Because falling and the suit I picked. Yeah.
So, what's on the agenda for this episode?
I would like to just discuss conspiracy theories or what was the
Well,
other
I wish
one?
you would have told us about that sooner. I would have gotten some presents.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Jeez, Anthony.
It sounds like we've had how long between episodes?
I don't know.
No time. We went straight into this one.
You're
All right,
right. You're
top 30 conspiracy theories. Number 30, number 1, the moon landing was fake.
right. Ooh, okay.
Did you
Is
know,
there-
actually, I've heard, hang on, before you continue this, I do want to interrupt. I've actually seen research in stuff on this. So, like, the moon landing being fake, what was going on is they tried to record it, but the problem is, when they tried to record it here, they couldn't get the gravity right, so they went to location to record it, so that way they could fake it.
I have seen some information about it and pictures of the Hollywood set of it, and the people are like, oh, it's just fake. But at the same time, I think
I
that
don't
doesn't
doubt
help.
we went to the moon.
And before we continue this, none of us made a advisory. We do not believe in these. We are just talking
Yeah.
about it for content.
Every
As a
time,
disclaimer,
all
we're not
we're talking
saying,
about
believe
is
these.
we're doing some
Light discussion.
some discussion about it. Whatever we say may not be our own opinion. We're just sometimes we may be doing some devil's advocate here.
So moon landing being fake? Oh yeah, definitely. The wind on the flag, the fact that he's not floating away. I mean, there's definitely no gravity up there, right?
That's not
Yeah,
how that works.
Definitely.
I don't know if, say, that video that was shown everywhere is from the moon, but I don't doubt that we actually went there.
Nonetheless, we got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that we've definitely been to the moon. I don't see why we would have stopped at trying if we hadn't gotten there. Yeah.
Well, it's more like at this point, wasn't it basically an arms race because us versus Russia because of Sputnik
Yeah.
being launched?
Yeah.
So to be fair, I guess it wouldn't be entirely not a probability for us to fake the moon landing.
Yeah,
if we
instead we
needed
got
to make
there
sure.
first.
so that way we
I
can-
could understand that, but I definitely don't
But-
see why we haven't been to the moon at this point.
Yeah,
we
we've
definitely
We already
definitely
have
been
tons
there.
and tons of different, space exploration things, and I could definitely see that we've been there. Maybe not that exact date.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there, right? So I can't tell whether or not
Sorry.
it happened. I'm just saying we have definitely been to the moon. At this point, we have definitely been to the moon.
Yeah, what were we left about there, Christian?
Oh, I forgot that it went straight to voicemail, so I thought you just hung up on her.
Oh.
So I was just like, oh damn, okay. But number 2. I don't know if I want to say number 2. This is we're just gonna skip that one for now.
What is
Okay.
it?
Oh, it was the government killed JFK.
Oh.
Okay, I'm okay with that one. This one just because like we disclaimed,
Well, JFK
this is
can't say
none
anything
of
about it.
our
Well, no, he can't.
personal opinions or anything.
Is it possible that they did?
100% possible. Is it possible that it was some random person? Yeah. I just feel like no one has all of the information.
I don't want the government taking credit for my work.
Chris, you weren't even alive.
But yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of information missing from that day.
There's
and
a ton, and
a lot of everything's speculation on that, anyways. Because when you trajectory of the shot just doesn't feel right.
nothing about the entire situation feels right.
And I'm actually going to kind of nerd out a little bit here. And I read probably one of my favorite books was a Stephen King book. I mean, I've talked about Stephen King dozens of times.
Very fair.
But no, it is 1123 whatever. It's literally just about the JFK assassination and someone trying to stop it. And it's a very interesting book, and it actually kind of delves into a lot of those other
And this is
ideas.
fiction, though, right?
Yeah, it's just fiction. Time
Stephen
travel
King
doesn't
didn't
exist.
try to stop this assassination
No.
of JFK, right? Well, also, situations do just happen. I mean, let's look at the First World War One. Are we saying that Archduke Franz Ferdinand did they purposely make him go off his schedule several times? Because if they had that many assassination attempts going up, and the government, and the people were trying to stop him anyways, then you think one of those assassination attempts would work. Coincidences happen in history.
And you know what? Even if Ferdinand didn't die, the war would have happened from some other thing.
Mhm.
Because it was war was
Yeah.
about to break out no matter what happened. It was just that was the trigger.
Mm-hmm. Would I say the JFK thing is possible? Yeah. Do I have any like personal opinion? No.
I honestly, that's so
it's
long
said
ago
and done.
for us.
Exactly.
Like, as much as I'd like to like find out exactly what happened.
I just didn't like when he was president. I wish he would have gotten out of office sooner.
Jeez.
Yeah, Chris, because you definitely remember. From
I remember the Cuban Missile Crisis.
63.
I remember the Bay of Pigs. You're not safe, Kennedy. I'm coming after you. Wait a minute.
Wait, Chris, are you a time traveler who went back in time? And...
All right. Number 3. Ooh, this one's a little bit more recent. COVID-19 was engineered by the media. And I think the hot take on this one is the fact is, no, it wasn't engineered by media, and it was a bad thing that happened, but also was it as bad as it needed to be? Probably not. I think everything is always overestimated in the media. Now, don't get me wrong, any disease, anything's bad. Anything is bad. I get that. But also, one thing that media outlets like to do, make things worse.
Yeah.
Yes.
So here's the thing.
What the fuck is going to have all that toilet paper do? I'm sorry.
It's technically an engineered virus. At least it started out as that. It was, the COVID-19 was originally it was China was working on a cure for something. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But it was originally supposed to be a cure for some disease or something. And it wasn't working out, so they tried to dispose of it. Apparently they didn't do it well enough.
Like, there's a whole bunch of rumors of like stuff that's going on. Like, I know there's like a whole lot of experimentation on bats. At least that's what I heard.
Yeah, I think they were, because other animals didn't get the disease. Basically, the disease affected bats pretty similar to humans.
Yeah, like it's the bird disease. I've heard that like that's like kind of like what they were like testing with on bats.
Yeah.
I can't remember all the names. Like, there's a lot of diseases. I don't really know. Like, I will agree with you 100%, Chris. I feel like the media has a way of taking something small and making it out to be way worse or more than it actually is.
Well, you know what? The original virus was very deadly for humans.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't stay the same virus for very long, and the vaccine or whatever wasn't really a vaccine. It's kind of like the flu boosters, right? Because COVID is it's basically a flu. It's a little bit I don't know how to explain it. It pretty much is a flu.
I think we can go a little bit more in depth with this. I think we can figure out our opinions a little bit better. What was it like for you guys during COVID times?
I hated it. Literally, I was in college at the time. I do not do online learning well at all. I am just super bad at it. I don't know.
I would say for me, like, COVID never really affected me too much, like on a personal level, besides like emotionally. Like,
it
the
was
idea
a very draining time
of just trying to do everything with all that going on and everything shutting down the way it did. I remember in the middle of it, I had broken my glasses or something, and I really needed to go get new glasses. And I remember sitting there in a location I'm not going to disclose, but it was like one of our state's busiest like cities, and like there was no one else.
Oh, now you
Yeah.
guys won't say the name, even though you said it last episode?
I planned on bleeping it out.
Oh, you actually are going to bleep it
Yeah.
out?
Yeah.
The whole time you argued tooth and nail about not.
I
That's
was
some
being
character
an
development in the
ass-
last 30 minutes.
being an ass.
He was being an asshole, but it was just whenever you went outside for any reason, nobody.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you were, nothing.
Land in the blades, land in the blades.
And just the feeling that everyone is staying so far away from people, and you have to wear masks.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was the hardest part of working. It was having, at least the job I had at the time, it was really hard to work where I did with that mask on. It was hard to breathe, and it was always super hot.
I've never been able, things around my, like, I don't wear necklaces because I have a thing with that.
Chakra?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
I have a thing with that, and I don't know. It's weird.
That's such a nice suit. I forgot.
And then, like, masks and stuff, never been good with them at all, ever.
Oh, this is one of my favorite
sorry,
scenes in the
Electro.
game.
I was like, yeah, we're getting a scene like that.
This is one of my
Is
favorite.
this the
scenes.
prison break?
Yo,
This
yeah.
is the
This
prison
is
break
a visually
where-
amazing scene.
This is one of the times that we got the.
You play Battle Scars in the background of this. Amazing.
So this is one of the times where we got. You know what, Anthony? Where we phased through the freaking
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah, when we last played this on the PS4, yeah, we phased through the walls and like he kept disappearing when he was supposed to be like right there. It was not fun time.
So, I do want to continue this bandwagon on the COVID-19. COVID-19 was when all that stuff happened. When basically 2020 was
2021.
2020 to 2021.
Yeah. That whole time for me, I had honestly a great time. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
You were still in school, right?
Yes, I was still in school, so I had online schooling. Online schooling wasn't the worst thing in the world because I got to be free and do what I wanted to do. So as long as I got my schoolwork done, it wasn't bad. There were days where I just was sick and tired of doing it, but also at the time, this was when I was close with my brother, which we'll probably go through that story eventually, which I don't think that's a whole story for today. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll do some, I mean, I'll probably say it on this channel eventually, but that was when I was with my brother, and that's actually the time he started bringing me to, we started going to the gym. Since I didn't have to worry about school, I'd get up at 6 a.m. anyways, so we'd go to the gym, and we'd work out and have a good time. Which is kind of funny considering the fact that COVID was like, be away from people and stuff. But
Yeah, so during high school, I would wake up at 4 and go to bed at midnight. I was a monster.
Yeah.
And you know
but
what?
you had a lot of reasons why you were up the way you were, because you had different things you had to be
I had a bunch
early and...
I had to be at school before 7 o'clock. And then I went to band before 8 o'clock. It was a lot of stuff. And then sometimes I had stuff to do after school too. I did my homework at 4 till like 6.
I'd get up at 6 a.m. for school. I'd get ready and I'd leave at like about 6:30 when I'd leave at like 6:15 and then get to, wait, no, that doesn't make sense at all. What time would I get up? Oh, I don't remember. I get up before 6. Yeah, that's right. I get up before 6 and then get to school by 6:30. It was a half an hour walk to school, no matter what weather. I walked the entirety of my last 2 years of going to school. And
weren't your last 2 years during COVID?
No, because I graduated class of 2022.
Oh.
So 2020 was the year that that everything went to online for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then 2021 was kind of when things were wrapping up, so I was able to go back to in-person school. And then in-person school, I would walk. It's a half an hour walk, uphill both ways. I'm gonna tell my grandkids that. It's funny because it's true. But
I mean, you go up a hill both ways, so.
Yeah. Yeah, you go up a hill for the first part, you go up a hill for the second part. It doesn't matter. Arguably, those were the best times for my school, was when I was walking. I'd get there super early so that way I'd be able to relax in the lobby. Actually, now that I think about it, I did it before COVID too, because I used to sit in the lobby and read, catch up on sleep, whatever I needed to do, homework even, and I'd just be able to enjoy my time before the lights got turned on. I'd just sit in there and relax.
So I'm not gonna lie, I told a little fib. I usually did not do homework between 4 and 6. I usually did it right before the reason I had to be there before 7. Because I usually got it done super fast. Because I'm a smart boy.
Okay, like, I will always claim I'm not actually very smart, but I never did homework. I was not a good kid, but I always managed to get homework done before it needed to be handed in.
Oh yeah.
And that was typically, literally while they were picking it up, it was 90% of the time.
I did that quite a few times.
I look at the homework and I'm like, is this homework that I want to do? No, then I'm not doing it. Should have tried a little bit more. Hindsight's 2020, but whatever.
No, exactly. I mean, even I have some feelings like that, but like, I'm not disappointed with the way things have turned out so far, and like you said, for me, COVID was just an emotionally draining time. It was weird having to be separated, and at that point in time, like I wasn't like super close to my family at that point, but it felt weird knowing I couldn't go see them because of all the other health conditions my family had.
Yeah, my grandfather was starting to decline around when COVID started. He didn't pass away from COVID. It was just,
Yeah,
timing. He's always had heart problems since he was literally born with a hole in his heart. Not to like the outside, but between one of the chambers, so blood didn't pump correctly or whatever. But yeah, it sucks. And I couldn't go see him or anything up until towards pretty much the end.
So
yeah.
So for me, COVID is emotional.
So the reason why I bring all this up, talking about how COVID has affected each one of us, is how does that impact our opinion about what we believe happened during COVID? Now, like you guys kind of came to the consensus on both terms that like it was very emotional. It was a little bit of a trial tribulation type of thing, and also I just happened to notice that both of you guys agreed that it was a little bit overplayed. So like, how much does that depict?
So here's the thing. I'll tell you this. When you look at, they're like, oh yes, a lot of people died from COVID. This has been one of the least amount of people have died from this epidemic than anywhere else in history. Epidemics usually kill way more people. So I think on that part, we did a pretty dang good job. We could have done better, yes. But,
What's going on, Anthony?
No, just swinging around.
Yeah.
I was watching. I'm like, whoa! Point launch, point launch.
Yeah, I was doing point launches, and then I went too far to one edge, and
yeah. But yeah, no. So yes, it was in the media. I think some of the stuff was overplayed, right? We did pretty much what we were supposed to up until people just stopped. Which, was another big problem, is there was a point where people just
gave up.
Yeah, they gave up on, like, keeping other people safe and stuff.
Like, son of a bitch. There we go. I was just far enough away, you just miss it. But yeah, like I don't think it was like a whole like huge government conspiracy thing. I think there was, a genuine health concern.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like most flus, especially, you really can't build up an immunity to it unless you've been introduced to it.
Yeah.
That's just how that works.
And you know what? We were gonna have to deal with this at some point.
Mm-hmm. Like, was it bad for infrastructure? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? Now we're better equipped. And you know what? We were heading towards a recession, and, if we just let ourselves go into it, I know it'll suck.
Mm.
But it'll be better in the long run because it won't be as much of a build-up. Because if we would let it wait too long, we may just go into another depression.
What about you, Chris? Do you believe that COVID was orchestrated by our government?
No. Sorry, this has always been my favorite scene. And I know we're talking about COVID and stuff, but like watching this scene, everyone surround him, it's great. But watching him fail. We talked about this in Batman Year One.
Mm-hmm.
But I love watching these moments where it's like, despite everything, like, he holds up, but it's just not enough.
Oh, yeah.
And then you spend the rest of the game trying to fix that. And what I love about this game, too, is that also he's able to... there's moments where he specifically talks about how he needs a break. and he doesn't get it. Aside from one time where he's physically incapable of like keeping on going.
Yeah.
Until he's like, I just need a quick nap. And I love those more human scenes of everything because he's supposed to be a superhero. But behind that mask is just a man.
And that, at the heart of it, is why Spider-Man's such a loved character, is because he's so human and he has so ordinary problems compared to most superheroes. You know, he deals with not being able to pay his rent throughout this. You know, like, all the awkwardness of him and Mary Jane's relationship. Like, that's what gives this character so much more heart.
I still don't agree. I don't like this Mary Jane. Like, I believe it was orchestrated good in this game. I think everything about this game is great. I really do. But I do not like the Mary Jane. Just because I don't like her as a person. Yuri Watanabe is pretty cool until you watch her downfall, which is also great.
Spoilers!
Spoilers! This
How
game
did she
hasn't
get-
been out for like 4 years.
You're right. Sorry that I warned you guys that she fucking dies.
She doesn't.
Yeah. Spoilers! You've been fooled.
She dies. Spoiler. No, she doesn't. Spoiler!
You fool.
Alright. More conspiracy theories, my guy.
Alright. Next one, I was looking up a little bit. People believe the world ended in 2012. You ever hear the theory
with
of
the
people
Mandela
getting sucked into a black hole is specifically the one that I'm looking at right now. The world getting from this webpage, it says the European Organization for Nuclear Research is at the heart of a lot of crazy conspiracy theories, including the belief that when we discovered the God particle in 2012, it inadvertently created a black hole and Earth was sucked into it. They think the world ended in 2012, but we haven't realized it yet. What?
That is an interesting one. Like, I have heard people say that, yeah, like, the world ended in 2012, and now we're on an alternate, like, timeline situation where when you die, you just shift. And that's what causes the Mandela effect. I've never heard that one.
I haven't heard that one either.
So that one's interesting.
That is an interesting one.
Can't say I believe it.
I mean, if we didn't, I mean, if it happened, we wouldn't necessarily know. But
no, and it's like the same thing with like the Mandela effect and everything. Like the whole people's like theory behind that, like same thing. We wouldn't know, and at the root of it all is we don't know what happens when we die. We don't know at all.
Doing some research, bouncing back and forth. It seems like there was some sort of older calendar that was like, this is the end of the date.
Calendar. Yeah.
as well as the Mayan calendar.
Yeah, I was
You're
going to
right,
say it was the Mayan calendar.
And you know what? The reason why the Mayans didn't go any farther than that? Probably because they were like, oh, we'll have time later to finish this, or they ran out of room on what they were doing it on, and they needed more space.
We will never know, realistically.
Because they've been wiped out, pretty much.
We will never really know why the calendar ended there. It's an interesting theory, and I remember like the theory of how the world is going to end on 2012, but
I never heard that before. Like, I know wasn't there like a scare that wasn't too long ago that was even in my lifetime where we thought the world was going to end? Was it the 2012
yeah,
one?
2012. It was like the big one, like December 21st, 2012 was the exact date the world was supposed to end.
I think actually,
if you don't know that, I would recommend you a movie called 2012.
Oh yeah.
And it's good. I love that
I actually
movie.
seen that movie.
And it's interesting because it goes through like a lot of the theories on how the world was supposed to end, or could have ended.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, but you put any movie like that and be like, oh yeah, it's going to end this date. Just like how Jay Schlatt predicted the Queen Elizabeth's death, and we all just forget about that. I'm watching you, Schlatt.
I do actually remember that.
He was also in England at the time, met the Queen, left, she died. Schlatt, answer for your crimes. I don't.
Yeah, at least I don't know how to feel about that one.
I don't know if there's
That
too
one's
much.
interesting.
I don't know if there's too much to talk about on this one, unless we go into
This
the
one would be
Mandela
an
effect.
extensive amount of research.
And
I'd be down to talk about it another time, but it had to be a whole separate topic.
and then
Yeah, that would have to be a sit down and we do a bunch more research on it.
the next one that I have in front of me is Disney created Frozen as a distraction. Is what this tagline is.
A distraction
Does
from
it
what?
give any more information?
Oh yes, it does. The
Okay.
conspiracy that Walt Disney used cryogenics technology to freeze himself when he died, even though Disney has apparently refuted these claims. I hope. But there was a new theory that Walt Disney Company created Frozen as the way to hack Google's search algorithm and distract consumers from information about the late Walt Disney's possible frozen procedure. So basically, people are claiming that Walt Disney cryogenically froze himself. Okay.
And so they used Frozen as
They
a
used the movie
Google
Frozen.
search fill, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the only that's exactly what happened, but I will say that there has been a bunch of stuff trying to prove and disprove the Walt Disney thing. In fact, there was
What do you? Did I make a waypoint? Fuck, sorry.
there was a bunch of like legal allegations and stuff with Disney and stuff like that. So, did it happen? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really have any emotional standpoint in this one at all. I don't know what to think of it. I mean, if he did, I mean, what does it actually matter? Why does it need to be a secret?
Because at the point, cryogenics in this current day and age is considered assisted suicide because we don't have a way to take them out of cryogenics yet, or confirm whether or not they could be in the future taken out of cryogenics.
Yeah, and it's like, I just don't see the reason why it needs to be so hush hush. Because okay, he did it because he thinks he can survive later. What did you fucking do?
Well, he did it apparently so in the future he can get this disease cured that he had.
For me, I don't have any emotional standpoint on it. I just
Yeah.
doesn't make
Now,
much
I mean,
sense
if you're
to
talking
me.
about some other stuff that Disney has done, right, like the accusations of grooming, movies nowadays, pretty much they've always got an agenda, right? So, I don't know.
You best. I think you might need to explain this a little bit more, because as someone that's not a part of the conversation right now, listening, what do you mean Disney grooming?
Okay, so there's allegations that Disney movies are grooming children to be a certain way.
Yes, like especially the topic with a lot of people is that like the idea. Oh, they're trying to make it seem okay for children to be transgender. Like, I'm not saying I have any emotional standpoint on this. This is just what like I've heard from internet research. You know,
Yeah, well,
minimal.
Transgender, a bunch of other stuff.
LGBT
And
plus.
you know what? Maybe they are. I haven't seen Disney movies in a long ass time.
I feel
The last one I saw was Endgame, and yeah,
I keep forgetting Marvel is owned by Disney now.
Yeah.
yeah, that was the last one I saw. And you know what? They could be. I don't know. I haven't been watching them, but I mean, there's only one problem that I have with making like transitioning children is they're just starting their lives basically, right? They have no
It was a
idea.
fucking clown car, and they just kept coming out.
And you tell me to
They have no idea how they want to live the rest of their life. So why are we doing this to them, right? I don't know.
I don't really have any emotional stake in this at all. So like, I'm not
Like,
gonna
I
give
don't
any
have
of my
kids.
own opinions.
I don't have kids, so like there's not much I can say about it, just by my personal view of like this is a little silly, guys. We're making
Don't do
children.
this mission.
Don't do it.
Not yet.
Okay.
We have like a minute left.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I don't know. I don't know.
We're wrapping this episode early.
Yeah.
What?
I just wanted to end that like little thought period of like
Alright.
with the transitioning children. They don't know how they want to live the rest of their life. They haven't even finished growing up yet. So why are we making them having to make a decision that's gonna hugely alter the way that they're gonna live their life?
I think at the end of the day, when everything's said and done, times are changing.
Yeah.
What was the status quo is not the status quo anymore.
I'm not saying that it's not helping people.
Oh no.
What I'm trying to say is that's a very big decision.
But, well, we're getting a little super pressed on this topic. What I am saying at the end of the day, no, you're fine. Be passionate about it. Argue your points. But we'll save that for a different video.
Okay.
But what I am saying now is that based off of like the moon landing being fake, well, times have changed. Now we've definitely been to the moon. The JFK assassination, well, times have changed. We've moved on from whatever the case may be. The status quo is always changing, will forever be different. So at the end of the day, what matters does this hold on to? And we talked about earlier in episodes where like people can use deep fakes and things like that. It's gotten to a point where just everything has changed. The whole game's being played differently, and if we don't change our own ballparks, don't change our own perspectives, things are gonna. Who knows what's gonna happen?
Mm-hmm. We don't know how the future has in store at all.
That's
like
true.
it's
Yeah.
it's an interesting landscape of everything. Like I remember before this current age of technology. I mean, I remember cell phones weren't a big thing.
Yeah, I remember. No, I remember when smartphones were starting to become big.
Meanwhile, ever since I was a kid, everyone had a phone of some sorts.
And so it's very interesting. Like so the next,
Daniel, you're trying to hold my hand.
generation's gonna be, we don't know what they're gonna have to deal with, and so it's interesting. And like I don't want to get too philosophical on it, but we'll end the episode here. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye bye.
Bye.